This week on Life on Jupiter, we finally complete our check-in to Mexico, start enjoying the local delights, but soon come to realize that anchoring here can be a real drag.
Good morning. Welcome to the Isla Mujeres Cruiser's Net. My name is Steve. I'm on board the sailing vessel Pile Aloha with my wife Michelle, and I'll be your net controller today. The purpose of the net is to stay connected, build a community of cruisers. This net runs Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Your participation is encouraged, and we welcome anyone who wishes to participate. If you wish to pass traffic, please say your boat name and wait to be recognized by me. First off, any priority traffic, emergency, medical, or security traffic, please come now. Heard, always a very good sign. Let's go with some this day in history.
Speaking of history, it was 5 months prior that we'd applied Seahawk Color Coat anti-foul back in Cape Charles, Chesapeake. This was a full-service yard, so we didn't get to do it ourselves, but it would be interesting to see how this new anti-foul performs.
How is it?
Hey, I'm really impressed actually. It's just got this little slime layer, which is half gone, and the other half's just fallen. You know, after we did our passage, half of it's fallen off, and the rest of it you can just rub with your finger, and it comes off. Yeah, it's really good. The propellers are amazing. I've never seen them so clean. Lanolin on the propeller to stop growth. Sorry. They've only been in salt water for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and this is the biggest issue really, is that we're in fresh water for most of the last 6 months. So now's when the real test begins, in the seawater. But yeah, I'm really impressed so far with the Seahawk Color Coat. Oh, don't look at my mess. I got mess. Well, to be honest, my workshop looks like this 80% of the time. It's only when we have guests I clean it up. So, just working on the water maker. Broke a belt yesterday. Went through my pile of spare belts, and I don't have the right size. So it's driven by 2 belts just for traction, and this one, the 4L420, that's the one I need. And I've got plenty of 430s, which is an inch longer, but it's just a bit too big, so we're gonna have to go exploring Isla Mujeres. Did I say it right? Isla Mujeres. We're going to have to go exploring Isla Mujeres to try and find another one of them. But you know what the beauty of it is? Made in Mexico! We bought this in South Africa. So yeah, they should have these ones. I hope. So I thought I'd take advantage of, well, the timing to do a little bit of maintenance on the water maker. Change the pre-filters. Come and have a look at the old ones. Hope you got a strong stomach. I mean, it is, you know, that's Mississippi water there. After the 4 months in the rivers. But, you know, that's what it looks like normally, actually. It's just all, you know, slime and shit. So this is like the stage 2 and 3 of the filtration process. This is just before the high pressure pump. And the membrane, of course, the high pressure membrane is what is the ultimate filtration. And when we've taken that membrane out previously, it looks a little bit like that. Not quite as messy, but a little bit slimy. And that's where our product water comes from, which is beautifully clean. So anyway, we'll put it back together and we'll go into walk the streets, try and find a belt, yeah? For the water maker. Let's see what's out here. We haven't been out here before.
Ooh, windy. Huh? 20 pesos?
We're still looking. It's hard. I mean, there's plenty of hardwares, but it's the car parts shop that we're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So, checking in Mexico. A long, drawn-out process. Third day, and it is complete. This is probably the most hassle, and it wasn't that much hassle. It was just waiting and waiting, and everyone was efficient, really, except the port captain. Yeah, I met plenty of other cruisers that were checking out, actually, and that was taking 2 days to check out. So, and they said, yeah, it's not uncommon to take 3 days to check in. I think it took us, the longest previous to that was Indonesia, was checking out, took 2 days. Because the departments were all, you know, different places. Anyway, so what ends up happening is procedure for Mexico is that you need 5 copies of your registration papers, 5 copies of your port clearance or your ZAP from the previous country, 5 copies of your crew list in Spanish. Yeah, if you Google around, you will find someone has put it online, the Spanish version. So anyway, the sequence of formalities is sanitation first. I've seen the listed as certificate of sanity. So that's, yeah, it's not, it's sanitation. So I was lucky in that instance, yeah. Sanitation, was a guy that turned up at the harbour master or the port captain's office, sits down at a spare table there, goes through the paperwork, and it's about, they want to know about dead people on the boat, they want to know about illness, they want to know about fumigation, and they stated, this guy said, if you want to go into a marina you must get fumigated. And I said, it's okay, we don't want marina. Turns out one of the cruisers later on, he said, yeah, the fumigator is the guy's brother. That's how it works here. So yeah, sanitation, agriculture, immigration. We did that on the first day. Second day was customs. So you go to the port office again, and this is all, you know, without any translator. It's a bit hard. His English is bad, my Spanish is zero almost. He told me customs was next. Yesterday we go into the port office and he calls customs. That was at 10 in the morning. 2 in the afternoon, I'm still sitting there. 4 hours. People go in, people go out, but you know, cruisers were trying to check out yesterday and they were coming and going all day trying to check out. So this is not just me, it's just the procedure here. And at 2 p.m. yesterday he says, I call customs, you come back 4 o'clock. So I come back at 4 o'clock, the office was shut. But there was a guy in a uniform standing outside. And he said, oh, no, it's closed. And I said, oh, we're supposed to meet customs. He says, I'm customs. Oh, okay. So, and then he says, you have your dinghy? I said, yeah, just here. Take me to your boat. You know, so this was unprepared. The place was a mess. But anyway, we had nothing to hide. He was a nice guy. And yeah, just came, did some forms, had a little inspection, took some photos, and stamped our documents. Of the 5 copies of registration, crew list, and previous port clearance, each department will stamp on each of those copies. So you end up with a document with 1, 2, 3, 4 stamps. So customs was actually the last one. So the 4 stamps are agriculture, sanitation, immigration, customs. And so they will stamp each of your 3 copies. Final step is to go to the port captain, which I did today, again, in the morning. I said I'm complete, customs complete, give them my paperwork. He gives me more forms to fill out, which are in Spanish. And then un momento, we sit and wait another hour or 2, and then he gives back a piece of paper which is for me to take to the bank, which is only just next door here in Isla Mujeres. And I pay the money, come back to the port office, and un momento for another 3 hours. Finally he prints up my clearance. I am legal in Mexico with all this paper. And the cost was a bit more than I expected. About $30 each for immigration, US dollar. Before applying online, I had to pay $60 US for the right to apply for immigration. And the port captain just now charged about $20 US. 100, 150 US dollar all up, I guess. There is another procedure which I have not started yet, and that is temporary import clearance of the vessel. Apparently this is valid for 10 years, which is a good thing to have, I guess. You know, like if you wanted to leave your boat somewhere, you could leave it in Mexico if you've got this import clearance. So I'll probably get it. You're supposed to get it if it's longer than 14 days in Mexico, which we will be. So I have to make an appointment and perhaps need to go to Cancun to get it. So that's the next challenge. But I am legal now, at the moment. Whew. Normally, don't be put off. This is not normally this lengthy process. It can normally be done within an hour or two. Ferry's going back to Cancun. So, yeah, now I can finally, after 3 days here, I can chill a little bit, have a beer or two and a burrito, maybe hit a bar.
Come on, are you ready?
Yeah. All right, that's good. It's beer o'clock, guys. You thirsty? We'll head to the Soggy Peso. Had a busy day, have we? No, we've been lazy actually. But we're still thirsty, so let's go. Oh,
Hey, I'll show you the charter boats.
Hey guys, we're at the Soggy Peso, but unfortunately, unlike St. Martin, remember St. Martin's got a soggy dollar bar, and the beers are $1. Here it's a bit more, but anyway, that's okay. Still pretty cheap. They're about $2.50 US, I guess. They're still pretty good. We haven't done a lot this week actually. We've tinkered on some jobs, trying to find some bits and pieces that we need. Probably no good there. The hardwares don't seem to have anything we need.
Yeah, can't find much.
We've been looking for a chandlery in Cancun. We didn't actually go there, but just Googling and asking around, we can't find anything. Anyway, we'll get by. This is how it is in Asia. There's no chandleries except Phuket. There's lots of chandleries, but everywhere else, Southeast Asia, there's not much. So it's sort of like that. Anyway, step by step, inch by inch, no problem, no rush. We're not on a time frame now, really. What do we got? We got 6 months here in Mexico, and we're allowed to stay 6 months here in Mexico, but we're not going to stay that long. So yeah, no rush. So we've had some gnarly weather since we got here to Mexico. Already had that dragging incident. Now we got 30 knots when we woke up this morning, and the rain and the sunrise. We've got to really watch out for boats coming at us. There's no boats in front of us at the moment, so that's good. What are we on? About 25 knots now. These little squalls and this holding here is really bad. Squalls all night really, so been awake. Hatch open, hatch closed, hatch open, hatch closed. because it's quite warm here, but yeah, fun, fun, fun. This is life on the boat. We got a little bit of a weather issue here in the lagoon. Sorry, it's not the lagoon, it's the anchorage in Isla Mujeres. It's really filled up with a lot of boats, and we've got a northerly coming. It's already gone northwest. Last night we had a bit of a blow, 30 knots, thunderstorm, and at least one boat dragged over there, we saw that. But we're pretty sure this boat right in front of us here, this orange boat, dragged, because he's much closer than he was yesterday. So when the northerly does come later today, he's going to be right on top of us. We don't want to be here. So the plan is to, it's all very shallow in here. The plan is to go find there's a bit of a trench over that way. There's a boat up on the shoal over there. So there's lots of shallows. But we're gonna go, Princess is gonna pull me along in the dinghy. I'm gonna be looking to find the trench. And hopefully we can anchor over in the back there somewhere out of everybody's way. That's the plan. All right, let's get going. Shallow just there, but I think if we go in front of Jack's and then up. It's deep enough here, but it's thick weed, so the holding won't be great. See, he's like right upwind of us now. See? The anchor looks good, ours looks good.
Yeah.
I don't know if we should move. Our anchor's good and I'm happy here, it's just him.
Maybe we move a little bit backwards.
Well, we could, but he's still directly in front of us. So we need to get out of his way.
He's just moving, he didn't drag.
He dragged last night.
Really?
Yeah. We were not this close at all to him yesterday. The wind's not forecast to be strong. It's 15 knots, but it's just if a storm comes up, he'll drag again. So I'm still thinking about it. There's plenty of room over there. I'm happy to go over there, but And we'd be away from all the wakes of the charter boats. I think I'd like to go over there. Get away from the noise of these clubs and bars and charter boats. What do you reckon? Let's move. So we're going to go in front of Johnny and in front of Jack. Can you see? I see the bottles now. It's okay. Get you to stand up high up here and show me where the shallows are, okay? We're going to go back in there.
Yeah. In the shallows.
Well, it's not shallow where we're going, but there's shallows right next to it. Okay. Well, we get kicked out by this dragger. We were holding beautifully, but this guy just come down straight on us, and it was a decision. We had to either get our anchor now or we couldn't get it at all because he would be on top of it. So we tried our place over there in the back, which was nice, but the holding was bad. We just dragged. So now we're going to emergency plan, and that is into the lagoon, which you're not allowed to anchor in there, except, I believe, for adverse weather. So this is adverse weather. I don't know what the holding's like, but it's more protected anyway. And the tourists just keep on coming. We're about the 6th boat in the lagoon, so we weren't the first to run away. Certainly calm in here, nice, but very shallow. Got a meter under the keels. keels. Who's got keels? No one has keels. But when the wind turns easterly, we're going to be pretty close to these docks. But by that time, we can motor out and go back out to the, what do you call that one? Anchorage. Maybe another sleepless night as the wind changes. Ops normal. That little cat's got a Great Dane on it. Can you hear him?